She must be on her periods or PMSing is one of the very common phrases used for women when they behave emotionally inappropriately. I know many women who are a hot mess when they approach that time of the month, and it does not have to be this way. Periods do not have to be a torturous experience for women. Every single woman has her own unique feminine rhythm cycle, and when we ignore that cycle, that rhythm, and push through our periods just like any other time in the month, we experience depletion and disconnection. The more we push through this time of the month, the more of a hot mess we become. We become more resentful, experience pain, and different sorts of imbalances in our female body. In this video, I am going to share with you the most important habit to cultivate amongst your busy routine in order to master your menstrual cycle and feel nourished in your feminine body. Plus, my top tip to experience a blissful period. My name is Jonita D'Souza, and I am the creatress of Exploring Femininity, a movement for busy women just like you and me to connect with their ancient feminine wisdom so that we can experience more fulfillment, more pleasure, more energy, more vitality in our everyday lives. Many women associate periods with pain, discomfort, and imbalances. Here's the thing, periods are not supposed to hurt. Yes, it may cause discomfort, but it is not supposed to be a painful, torturous, excruciating experience in our body. And if you experience extremely painful periods, then that is a message from your female body that you need to come back to the cycle, to your feminine rhythm, and slow down, or some or the other aspect of your emotion requires healing and attention. Because your inner woman, your feminine, always speaks through you all the time through signals, messages from the body. Although it's too big a topic to discuss in this video, I do want to emphasize that feminine rhythm and feminine cycle can be a big resource for you to experience great amount of energy and pleasure and ease should you choose and learn to work with them and not against them. Any discomfort or pain or imbalances that you experience during your periods is simply the voice of your feminine, your inner woman, your intuition guiding you back to wholeness should you choose to listen to your body. Simply popping a painkiller and going by through this phase is just not the solution. Yes, you may achieve temporary relief, but next cycle you will experience the same, because taking a pill just only touches the surface layer of this problem and does not go into the root cause of your dis-ease, your discomfort. When we disconnect from our menstrual cycle, we also get disconnected from our intuition, our visionary nature, and instead we begin to blame others for our circumstances, for the frustration that we feel inside. We become much more annoyed, we get irritated easily, we burst out into anger with our loved ones and feel guilty later. I must say that I have done that before several times in the past, and I really did not understand why I was behaving so irrationally at that time. It took me years of searching, learning, and practicing to understand that when we experience such emotions, it is that a deeper part of us is really longing for replenishment. And as busy women in this modern day society, we live in a constant state of deprivation. Having experienced it myself, working with hundreds of clients, as well as years of intensive studies and research in women's emotional well-being, it is a crime if I do not mention that any disease or discomfort that happens in our physical body is the result of an emotional imbalance first, that later manifests into a physical form. So if you begin to work with your emotions, try to understand and learn about them, you are able to resolve any kind of disease and discomfort in your body by almost 50%. I used to have severe menstrual cramps and heavy bleeding that would leave me paralyzed. I was like a walking time bomb, and I would throw up my emotional overwhelm in the people around me and cry a lot. And then few days later when I look back, I would always wonder, like, what was that? Why did I feel so triggered? Why did I feel so emotionally charged? And many times I felt guilty for this kind of behavior. Understanding of my cyclic nature, my feminine rhythm, and incorporating it as I planned my day, as I planned my commitments, my social life, my rest time, my eating habits, was a game changer for me. And now I really look forward to my periods. It's the best time in the month. So what's the most important habit to cultivate for a blissful period? If you are a busy woman, I have not met any so far in this day and age who is not busy, and if you are experiencing difficulties during your periods, if you are experiencing difficulties managing your energy levels throughout the month, then the most important habit that you must from now choose to cultivate is to track your menstrual cycle. And I'll tell you why. You see, I keep repeating that we women are cyclic beings, and when you begin to track your menstrual cycle throughout the period of 28 days, you cannot imagine the profound realizations that you will begin to receive about your emotional and physical responses throughout these 28 days based on your daily chores, your lifestyle, your eating habits, your sleeping pattern, etc., etc. When you chart your menstrual cycle, you will begin to understand the fluctuations in your energy levels throughout the month. You will begin to understand the cycles of your emotion, which days you are feeling more emotionally charged, which days you're feeling more fragile, irritated, excited. You will also begin to understand your mental state, because yes, there are days in your menstrual cycle where your mind is really clear, you're able to focus very well, you have a sense of direction, and then there are some days where you just simply feel foggy and confused and lost in your own thoughts. All of these emotions are very present for us women. We women can experience a very wide range of emotions, from feeling really excited in 1 minute to feeling extremely angry or upset in the next minute. And by understanding the cycles of our own emotion, our body, our thought process, we make it easier for ourselves to navigate through our busy lifestyle. So when you begin to start tracking your menstrual cycle, what I highly recommend to my clients and to you is to track your menstrual cycle for at least 3 months. And in doing so, what you will notice is a pattern that will begin to emerge from your charting of the cycle, which will give you much more clarity about your emotions, body, thought process, etc. The truth is, each phase of your menstrual cycle has its own significance, and when you begin to understand this 28-day cycle, by the way, there are 4 phases in this 28-day cycle, then you will be able to use your energy more wisely. You will experience more ease and flow in the doing of all the things that you have in your to-do list. And accordingly, you can plan and navigate through your daily chores and commitments. Also schedule time for rest and restoration during the time of your bleed. For example, the third phase of your menstrual cycle is usually the time of the month where you can experience a heightened energy in your body. So think about those days where you think that things get done really fast, really easily, really quickly, and you're surprised, like, wow, 2 weeks ago I would have been pushing and going upstream. So the third phase of your menstrual cycle is usually the time where you can make a lot of social commitments, you can have a full-on diary, and you will get a lot of things done. I teach in great detail about all the phases of your menstrual cycle, along with rituals and tips and tools for you to experience periods in a way that you will begin to start loving this time of your month. It also comes with a downloadable menstrual charting sheet that you can use time after time to chart your menstrual cycle. And one of the things that I want to emphasize before you begin charting is that you must be really honest in writing down your emotions and response patterns throughout the cycle. It's not the time to judge yourself, but truly become open to how do you really feel on each day of the month. Although there are several apps that you can find in order to track your menstrual cycle, however, I highly recommend charting your menstrual cycle on a pen and a paper like the old school days, because there is something magical when we actually use our physical energy to bring our intentions into physical form. So yes, writing it down kind of makes it much more solidified in your psyche. And here is my top tip to experience blissful periods that my clients and I absolutely love: creating a menstrual sabbath. When you begin to chart your menstrual cycle across the period of at least 3 months, you will recognize a pattern, and you will recognize that usually there is this time of the month, which is a day or two before your bleeding begins, is when your emotions are highly triggered. You are like a walking time bomb. And this is the time that I insist my clients to blog their diaries and create a menstrual sabbath. This is usually the time when your body is preparing to begin to shed the blood. So this is the time of extreme discomfort and emotional trigger. And I invite my clients, my women, to create a menstrual sabbath during this time, to take responsibility to create a nourishing time before we begin the periods. So this will include you preparing some nourishing food for yourself, creating some alone time, giving yourself some planned rest, and not overscheduling your diary during this time of the month. If you are a busy mom, then you can announce to your loved ones well in advance that mommy needs these 2 hours on this day because she needs some alone time and she wants to rest and rejuvenate. This is also the time that your body begins to naturally crave for more sugar. So you can treat yourself to some beautiful raw cacao recipes. You can also give yourself some good healing womb massage. So I again talk about it in great details on how you can create a sensual menstrual sabbath for you in my Sacred Power of Your Menstruation digital guide. And this in itself makes it really exciting every single month for me and several other women that I know who were able to shift their experience of painful periods to a blissful one. It is the time of the month you can take at least 2 hours to create a mini retreat, and you will notice that how easeful your periods begin to unfold into. Because you're preparing and nourishing your body before the bleeding time, not just during, but before the bleeding time, you will experience less discomfort, less menstrual cramps, and you will come out of this phase of bleeding feeling much more energized, and you are ready to go conquer the world. You see, sister, your menstruation is your spiritual gift. You are not given this experience to suffer. Instead, you are given this experience so that you can connect with your body in a deeper level in order to feel more inspired, intuitive, energized as well as sensual, should you choose to. When you learn how to chart and track your menstrual cycle, it will allow you to become a feminine leader, a woman who is leading her love, life, business from the inside out by engaging in the inherent strength and wisdom of the cycles of the menstrual phase. And guess what? This is a blessing when you are in a relationship. Often during this time of the month, we feel extremely fragile and we expect our partners to understand what we are going through. But how can they understand what we are going through if we ourselves do not give ourselves the time to rest, recalibrate? So my dear one, share with me in the comments if you live your life in accordance with your menstrual cycle. Do you track your menstrual cycle? If not, let me know if you found this information useful or if you have any questions for me. We live in this modern day busy world which requires us women to be in the doing mode to get a lot of things done on a daily basis. But this does not have to be at the cost of our feminine, our body, our emotional well-being. And when we as women take the responsibility of our own emotional well-being, it is not only a blessing for us and our loved ones, but it will change the community, the world that we are living in. So I hope you found this video useful. Share with me in the comments if you track your menstrual cycle, if you live your life, manage your energy, plan your days according to your menstrual phases. If you have any questions for me, I'm looking forward to interacting with you. One thing that I'm telling you right now is that this is so much work. For us modern day women, it's not about time management but energy management, and cultivating this important habit will really help us experience more energy, ease and flow in our daily busy lives. Signing off.